Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sherry. Today I'm creating a layout using a grid pattern. This was for a challenge that was issued on the Facebook group for Hip Kit Club, and they issue challenges once a week, and this particular challenge was to use a grid design and to share photos of some of your favorite photos from 2014 using the grid design. So what I did, I found this grid design from the Cut Shop, which is an Etsy shop, and it's owned by Ashley Horton. She creates these cut files, and she's an amazing designer. She's on a lot of different design teams. In fact, she is a designer for the Hip Kit Club. So I went to her shop on Etsy and found this grid pattern, and I just loved it because I love the Insta love. I love the letters and the heart. So I downloaded that and I cut it on my silhouette just using plain white paper. And then I'm just doing a painting technique over it using regular acrylic paints. And I did water them down. I wanted a little bit more of a brighter color, so I didn't want to use watercolors because those can be a little bit more soft. So I used my acrylics and just watered them down a bit and painted the grid frame. And then what I wanted to do was to back it on this black paper. I love to use black on a background when I do color because it just makes it pop. So I wanted to use the black cardstock on that, and I'm going to start cutting out my photos and putting everything down, filling the squares with photos or embellishments. And I'm going to warn you in just a little bit, I had a little problem with my camera. It cut off during part of the recording. And so pretty soon here it's going to cut off, and then it's going to just come back with pretty much the boxes filled. But I did want to go ahead and post it because I didn't have everything adhered. You'll see in a minute because it's getting ready to cut off. But I was just adding my photos and placing them where I wanted to put them, and before I adhered the grid down, kind of figuring out what I wanted to do in each square. And so here we go. Sorry, I missed out that whole part of the video where I was choosing what I wanted to go in what square. But I did want to go ahead and post it because I haven't adhered anything down yet. So as I'm placing those pieces, I can kind of narrate and kind of tell you what's going on. So first of all, what I did is I figured out what I wanted to go in each square. And then I'm removing everything to adhere everything back down. It was a little bit trickier to adhere the things behind this grid because you can't just go glue everything down and put the grid on top because it has to be lined up perfectly. So, but you can't adhere the grid and then put the things behind it. So it was a little bit tricky, but I did work it out. I started just adhering in the corner. And then you'll see here as I'm just holding the grid like in an area and then tucking things under another square to make sure that I get it placed right. And there I am just putting adhesive on the back and then tucking it behind the grid so I can see exactly where I need to place it so it's placed well. So that was a lot of fun. I love this design. I love a grid design. I honestly don't do them a lot. I need to do them more because I really love a grid design. But I love the challenge that was issued, and I just encourage you, maybe take a part in challenges here and there. If you're not a part of the Hip Kit Club group, go ask to join because it's a lot of fun. They post challenges, a lot of great community there. If it's not Hip Kit, you can find challenges all over different blogs and different groups that you're a part of. And if you haven't taken part in challenges, I encourage you to do so. It kind of stretches you. I love the challenges because it gets me out of how I regularly think, maybe how my design, and it gives me new ideas and kind of stretches you a bit. And so this was a really fun layout to do. I loved, first of all, getting different photos on a page, and I love the grid design. Grids always work. I mean, they just always work. It's just a great design element that always works. So I encourage you to give it a try. I'll put the link for the Cut Shop in the box below so that you can go over there and check it out if you have a silhouette, or some things you can even cut by hand. But she has some great files, and this is a great grid to work with. This was a lot of fun. Anyway, getting back to the layout, what I'm doing is I am using the December Hip Kit, and I am using different pieces of paper. I wanted to back some of the squares with paper, and then I wanted to have some photos. So the heart paper there that you see came in the kit, and that's the Amy Tangerine from the Stitched line. And also the polka dot, the yellow with the polka dot there, that is also from the Amy Tan stitched line, and that's the thrifted paper. And then we also have the newsprint that you see up there behind the Insta Love. That is from Pebbles, and it's called Sunday Paper. And so I thought that was fun behind the Insta Love there. So I'm using the kit. We got a lot of Amy Tan in that line. Just love that kit. So what I'm doing now, let me get back to the layout. I am adhering that grid, and I've sped it up for you because it was kind of didn't want to drag it out for you. And I'm just taking my little fine tip with my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in it and applying that grid down. I again love that tip because you can see how fine it applies the glue. And I didn't want to cut this out because I did want you to see how some of the process of applying it. You know, it was just like applying it, and then you have to kind of go back and you have to work it and, you know, press things down and make sure everything's glued down. But it worked out great. I did get everything applied well, and then what I'm going to do is go back in once that's down and start filling in some embellishments. So in one square there, I'm using that flower and the love. That's from the Amy Tangerine. We got the ephemera pack, and so that was from her ephemera pack. And let me just say here, what I'm doing here is I wanted to trim it down because, as you can see, first of all, the grid didn't go all the way to the end of the 12 by 12, and my photos didn't completely down to the end of the paper. So I'm going to trim off the edge now. Let me just tell you, if you do this, you have to be very careful, because if you go too fast with your trimmer, it's going to rip those thin strips of paper that you see, which is the grid. So I went very slowly to make sure that I didn't rip those papers. And what I'm doing is I'm just trimming down the edge because I do like to back it anyway. I wanted to put a background on it, background paper, which I think is very simple. I think I went with a white or something, but I did want to trim it down so everything was even. I wanted the grid to be even with all of the photos, and so I'm going around before I apply my embellishments and trimming off those edges to make sure that everything is squared up. And you can see I'm being very careful going over that grid because those papers can rip easily. And so there we are with it trimmed. And, you know, I just went back through my Instagram and I just found some pictures that I loved. No rhyme or reason to them, just, you know, grabbed some pictures that I loved, and that's what I went with. And here I'm trying to decide if I wanted to do that. I thought about putting the pattern paper behind there, but it was such a small margin that you could even see that I didn't really even think you could even tell that it was even pattern paper. I may have went with that paper. No, I ended up going with the white. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a while since I did this layout, so I couldn't remember what I actually went with. Yeah, I went ahead and did the white. I did kind of like just the white frame around it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to my background before I do any embellishments, because I like to, you know, make sure that that's down and not have to mess with anything after I get embellishments and everything's bumpy and it's hard to apply. So I got that laid down, and what I'm doing here with my file, I think I need a new blade. Sometimes when you trim like that, it can leave little rough edges on the edge of your paper. If you just take a little file, I keep a file in my toolkit right by my desk, on my table. If you take a little file like that, like you'd use on your nails, and just file down the edges, it takes all those rough edges off, so you don't see all those little stray, you know, pieces of fiber hanging, and it kind of cleans it up a little bit. And then what I'm doing is just adhering the words that I didn't get adhered down yet. Such a cute design. I really loved that grid. I loved that Insta Love. I thought it was so cute. The gold love that you see there, that is also from the Amy Tan ephemera kit. And the pictures that I'm sharing on here are from just random pictures throughout the year. I have a picture of my grandson, of course, in the upper left corner. That was from his first birthday party in July, and it was a Dr. Seuss theme. And so he actually had a little Dr. Seuss outfit. It was really cute. So anyway, that was from his birthday party. Then I have my niece Madison right under him, which was an adorable photo of her that I took in the spring. and then a picture of my daughter and son-in-law and my grandson and husband in the upper right on 4th of July. And below that is trick or treat, grandson's first real trick or treat. Last year he was too little to even, of course, be involved. This year he loved it. He loved trick or treating. So that was a picture of us on Halloween on trick or treating. And then next to that is a picture of me and my daughter when she had blonde hair. And then the bottom right is my nieces and nephews from California. We had went out there at the beginning of the year to go visit them, and don't see them much, and so really miss them. But that was a picture from our visit there. So it's fun to just look back throughout the year, and I think just look at things that you've enjoyed, and just how great life is, and all of these connections and family. And so I really love that everything is on one page and you can share all that on a layout. So anyway, I am getting back to the layout now. Sorry, I straight away I get to talking. The wood veneers that you see here are from Evalicious, the wood veneer shapes, and they came in the December kit. I love the one with the heart and says photo. I mean, I just love that little wood veneer. That was one of my favorites that came in the kit. And I've again applied the flower in the upper square. That's also from the Amy Tan stitched kit. I think it's, yeah, stitched ephemera. I'm sorry, I'm looking here at my notes. And the camera that you see there is also from that pack, as well as the feather in the yellow box. And then I'm just applying the year, and I'm using some, now these thickers didn't come with the kit. These are from another kit that I had, but I did want to use the black. The ones that we got in the kit were, I didn't think that they were wood grain, and I didn't want a wood grain. I wanted a black to blend with that black background. So I found some in my stash, and I'm going ahead and applying the year in the black, kind of a black glitter. And getting those applied, and I wanted them to go in that square, which I loved. And now I wanted to do some rub-ons, but you can see, yeah, probably not a good idea on the black. The only one that worked was the gold, but I try a few of them because I wanted to kind of use some of the rub-ons, but you see them on the back and think, oh, that'd be cute, but not on the black. It doesn't show up, so I'm going to try a few here and then just give up, because you wouldn't be able to see it on the black. So I just stuck with the gold and ended up rubbing that on. I like the feathers. I don't use them a lot, but I kind of like the element, the effect that they add. So yeah, I tried a couple, and they just were not going to show up. So I opted to go with a feather and something else instead. In fact, I think I pulled some things from my stash. I'm persistent. I'm not giving up on those rub-ons. I wanted to use those rub-ons so bad, but it's like I'm not going to waste it on the black because they're not going to work. And that wasn't going to work either because it was gold over gold. So I kept trying, kept trying. And in the end, I finally ended up going to my stash because I ended up finding some other things that I thought would work better, and so I'll end up pulling from my stash. I have more stash than I can possibly use up. I know, like everybody, I try to use my kits exclusively on a layout, but sometimes you just need to pull in a little extra something. And I try not to get boxed into just using a kit because, I have these flares, like this flares that I'm pulling out that I thought they went great on the page. And I like to pull the different things out, pull my stash out, and mix it. So don't be afraid to pull things out and mix them up because, we all have tons of stash. And we got to use them. We got to use everything up. So I mix and match. I try to mix everything. I did pull out some enamel dots to place on the page to kind of just add a little bit of pop. I love enamel dots. And I don't have enough, I don't think. I've seen people that have tons of them, and I love them. I use them up. Now the grid that you see there, it did come with little dots that cut out, but I thought it was cute to kind of add the enamel dots in the place of the dots for the eye, to add a little bit of color there. And the XO with the heart, that's from the Amy Tan Ephemera collection in the stitched package. It came in the kit. And so I'm just adding a few extra pieces there to finish up. Trying to decide when enough is enough and when not to go over. That's probably my challenge right there, because I keep applying, and sometimes I can go over. So I wanted to apply that heart with, I had a label that I have in my stash. I have a ton of labels. I love labels. So I'm just applying that behind the flower piece just to give a little extra pop. Wasn't tucking in there quite like I wanted it to, so I just cut part of the edge off and tucked it behind there. And I'm getting ready to wrap up here, trying to just figure out if there is anything else that I want to add to that. And I felt like that little box just needed something else. It was just two things, and I like to do things in thirds and threes. And so I was trying to just figure out what else I wanted to add to that little box up there. And right now I'm probably off to the side going through my stash in my drawer. But I think I come back, yeah, and I use, I think I use a circle or something from, if I'm not mistaken, from Amy Tan in the kit. Yeah, there we go. I think it's that blue circle. There's something that I pull out. Yeah, that's what I end up using there, and I loved it because the gold. I thought the gold went well with the feather. I did already have my flare tucked down, so I was having a hard time getting it under that. So again, I just kind of cut out a little section of the round die cut and tucked it under my flare to complete that. And it's going to be wrapping up soon. I just want to say, I'm really enjoying doing the videos. I'm trying to upload as many as I can. I've been, like everybody else, been busy, extremely busy the past couple weeks. I do have some videos in queue, but I really enjoy doing them. I hope you enjoy watching them. I hope you are enjoying everything. I'm loving your comments. I'm trying to respond to those, but please know that I do read them all, and I really appreciate you taking the time to even watch and to leave comments. It really, really means a lot. I really appreciate it. I'm enjoying doing it. So I hope you're getting something out of it. Feel free to leave comments or ask questions. Or if you want to see anything else, please let me know. I'm going to give you some close-ups here, close-up shots. And again, just let me say thank you so much for watching, and I do hope you have a great day. See you soon.